The king was due to meet European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen tomorrow, but the planned meeting has now been scrapped, it has been reported. King Charles III is understood to have been lined up by No. 10 Downing Street to meet the EU leader just as Prime Minister Rishi Sunak's Northern Ireland Protocol negotiations came under fire. But Sky News reports the meeting has now been postponed. It's understood a meeting was scheduled to go ahead between the UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak and Ursula von der Leyen on Saturday, but it later emerged the King's involvement could have been misconstrued or interpreted as a political endorsement. Sky News reports there was talk of branding the discussions on any deal as the Windsor Agreement to lend royal authority to it, but a monarch's involvement in a political issue could have been seen as deeply controversial. For now, an EU source said Rishi Sunak held a positive call over the Northern Ireland Protocol with the EU President today, and they expect to speak again soon. Despite the removal of royal approval, it has been reported Rishi Sunak was closing in on announcing a new post-Brexit deal for Northern Ireland, as Conservative MPs were ordered to be in Parliament on Monday. The Prime Minister was expected to hold final discussions over the Northern Ireland Protocol with Ms von der Leyen before making a formal announcement. A source said Tory MPs had received a 3-line whip for Monday, meaning they must be in the Commons. Cabinet ministers have been put on alert for a possible conference call over the weekend. Mr. Sunak has promised MPs that Parliament will be able to express its view over any deal, which he hopes will get the Democratic Unionist Party (DUP) to restore power sharing in Northern Ireland. But he would come under intense pressure if he does not give them an explicit vote, as fears are abound of a rebellion from hardline Brexiteers. A deal had been on the cards all week, but Downing Street said on Friday that intensive discussions with the EU were ongoing. Unusually, Downing Street declined to set out Mr. Sunak's plans for the weekend, only saying he was working in No. 10 on Friday. Foreign Secretary James cleverly indicated ministers will not sign off on a deal over the protocol with Brussels until the DUP's concerns are addressed. The protocol, signed by Boris Johnson in 2020, was designed to prevent a hard border with Ireland after Brexit. But Unionists have been incensed by the trade barriers it has created between Northern Ireland and the rest of the United Kingdom. Sunak hopes for new Treaty of Windsor with Brexit deal, but King pulls out of meeting. Mr. Cleverly told Times Radio, "The things they're concerned about, the things we're concerned about, are absolutely in alignment, and we are focused on resolving all the issues that need resolving. Some of them are technical trade issues and very complicated, and some of them are really simple but important principles, like Northern Ireland's place as an integral part of the United Kingdom. And that sense of sovereignty, the importance of a democratic voice. So when, hopefully, we get those issues resolved, then I would hope that the DUP would recognize that we've addressed their concerns, and until we have addressed those concerns we're not going to sign off on the deal." However, when asked again if the government would not press ahead with a deal not backed by the DUP, he said, "No, what I've said is we've got to make sure that the issues they've highlighted are addressed." The DUP has issued 7 tests to win its backing for any deal, including addressing what it calls the democratic deficit, meaning the nation is subject to EU rules. Meanwhile, Mr. Johnson declined to say whether he would back any new deal negotiated by his successor Mr. Sunak, in the latest sign he could face a rebellion on the Tory backbenches. Instead, the former PM backed as the best solution his Northern Ireland Protocol bill, which could effectively rip up parts of the agreement he brokered. Mr. Johnson told Sky News, "I think that it is important to wait to see what there may be, but I think the best way forward, as I said when I was running the government, is the Northern Ireland Bill, which cleared the Commons very comfortably, I think unamended, when I was in office and only a few months ago. So, I think that is the best way forward." A Downing Street spokesman responded, "Negotiations are continuing, so there isn't a finalized deal for people to take a judgment on." China urges Russia to end Ukraine war in extraordinary 12-point intervention.